Hi, Matt with Etrailer. If you're looking for a more compact cargo carrier for your 2023 Jeep Gladiator and you want something that's also going to work with your tailgate, then the rucRak Recruit is going to be a great option for you. So let's check it out. And as you can see, our tailgate is working really nicely with it. We pretty much have almost an entire carrier that's not going to be obstructed by the tailgate, and even if you do put some heavier things on here, it's not going to make contact. Now, the reason why you might want to use a cargo carrier with your bed, because you can fit most of what you need here, is for a few reasons. First one is maybe you want something that is a little bit more accessible so you don't have to reach into your bed, grab it. It just makes this a little bit quicker. And if you have some items, maybe you're taking either to the campground or to the beach, you can just put them here so like it's quicker to grab. And if you want to use this in tandem with the wagon adapter, you can actually find that on our website. You can throw on some wheels here so you can take it straight from your hitch straight to the campground so you don't have to constantly go back and forth between. And what's nice is these wagon wheels work really nicely with the carrier. Reason being is you don't have to bolt anything into place. Really, everything's going to work just with pins. It mounts on, and that's what really makes this carrier stand out compared to other ones out there, because you can get this wagon adapter on there, and I don't really see too many options like that. Now, if you are just looking for a smaller, compact carrier, just to take your stuff from point A to point B, then I'd probably recommend checking out the Flint Hill Goods aluminum hitch cargo carrier. It'll be the same type of construction this is, and it's going to be about the same size, only it won't have the ability to fold up, and it won't have wheels. But something to think about is if you're using every square inch of this carrier and you have things pressed up against this rear side, you might run into a clearance issue with your tailgate. And what I mean is if I lower this down, this just barely covers up the back side. So if I get a measurement of that real quick, that's going to be just around 8 inches or about 7.5 inches, anywhere around there. Then you might run into some issues. But outside of that, you can stack things up pretty high. But something to consider, when you are stacking things up, at some point you're probably going to start blocking your backup camera, because this is sitting up pretty far away from your vehicle, so that is something to consider. So if you're stacking anything about 10 inches or above, that's when you're really going to start blocking your camera. Keep it maybe around 6 or 7 inches. Those are going to be some pretty low items, but something to consider. Now we're going to check out how it's really going to interact with the back of your vehicle. And something to consider is what it's going to block. So right now, we actually switched this around because you can flip this carrier so it lines up more with your license plate. And as you can see, even though we're missing about half that space here, we can still see that license plate, so it's not going to be fully obstructed. Now, you probably could see out of your backup camera through this gap just a little bit, but a lot of that space is mainly going to be blocked. So what I'd recommend doing is just mainly sticking to your back window or your mirrors. Something else to consider is if you have the wheels on, it might block these turning signals or brake lights just a little bit. I don't think it would impede anything, but if you don't like that, that's okay. You can also just remove these real quick too. Sometimes these pins can be a little bit tricky to get out. Once you get them out, then you don't have to worry about blocking anything. And you store it back here. And the other way it's going to interact with your vehicle is how far away is it sitting from your bumper. And you can actually change that. So it's going to have 5 different locations because it's going to have 5 different pinholes. Each one of those are going to be in 1-inch increments. So if you want it further out, like we have it right now, which is the furthest point, this is how far it's going to stick out. Now we could bring this in by 5 inches if you want it closer to your vehicle so you don't take up as much space in a garage. But the one thing you will lose out on that is how much your tailgate is going to cover the top of that carrier. And speaking of those pinholes, we can see how it installs. We're going to have a 2-inch shank that goes into your 2-inch hitch receiver. And we're going to have this anti-rattle collar on here, so it's going to reduce any rattling from occurring on here. And we will not have a pin and clip that come with it. This is our own that we have or are using today. Now, if you don't have any, you can actually find some on our website. But at the end of the day, I think what really makes this carrier stand out is the fact that we can attach wheels with it. And again, that is going to come separately. But like I was saying, I think this is going to be the perfect thing to take with you if you are planning on taking any of those beach vacations, or if you want to go to the campground and you don't want to lug your stuff back and forth a bunch of times. This is going to be a far better way to transport it, especially with these types of wheels we have on this. They're going to be designed to really go through sand or a lot of different terrains and just make that whole journey a bit easier. Now, if you're just looking at the carrier, I think that's fine too. I really do like those folding capabilities it has. But at the end of the day, I think I would still go with the Flint Hill Goods aluminum hitch cargo carrier. Reason being is it can still do a lot of the same things this has a higher weight capacity, and it's still going to be relatively light. But you will lose out on the folding capabilities and you won't be able to attach wheels to it. So that's what I think really puts this one a step further than that one. But again, this was just a look at the rucRak Recruit cargo carrier on the back of our 2023 Jeep Gladiator. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.